welcome to the Wonderboys podcast. I'm Krishna Andavolu, and this is
Vegas Tunnel. Hello.
Hi everyone. We're back. We're doing another episode. We got a great guest today, Dexter.
Yes, we're doing our friend Dexter, who's in LA. Great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're chatting to him. Before we get to that, I have a thing for you.
Let me hear it.
We've been doing this for a little while now.
Yeah.
And part of the goal of this project was for us to become better friends.
Mission accomplished.
Well,
You want to be even better friends?
let's find out.
Okay. Yeah.
No, because I've made a quiz.
Okay.
I've made a Vegas quiz.
All right. I get to. So it's a quiz about you.
Yeah. Yep.
Very sneaky.
I know.
Very sneaky.
So we'll see how well this is going, and this will give us a metric where there's room for improvement.
Yeah, that's good. We can do this again in 6 months.
Okay, first question: is Vegas my real name?
No, it's Vegard.
That's
2 points.
That's 2.5. That's 2 points. Okay.
And why did you change it again? I mean, you just use it as an Americanization.
Yeah. I just use it. Well, some people in Norway call me Vegas as well, but it was just a nickname that some people use. Actually,
like Hollywood Joe.
Exactly. It was Hollywood Joe for a while too. But it does throw me a little bit, especially when I'm in Norway or if I write or do stuff for Norway, because like most people in Norway know me as Vegard, and it does. Like it throws me for a bit of an identity loop. Sometimes I'm like, it's not a big existential thing, but it is like, where am I really?
Well, I mean, there's a lot. I know a lot of East Asian people of East Asian origin in the U.S. who would have kind of an American or Westernized name, but then also have a Korean name, for instance.
If you were to have a Westernized name, what do you think it would be?
Christian, probably, just by way of homonyms.
I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that, but it's just homonym for you and your loved ones, so they would remember it. Because new people who met you, you could be Maddie, if you're just like.
Yeah, but my loved ones being like my friends, not my family know my name.
Yeah.
Like, they are pretty good at saying my name. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so that's fine.
One. All right, sorry.
Krishna, how do I feel about horses? So a lot of this thing, this isn't like canon. This isn't stuff we've discussed.
No, I don't think we have. So I have to kind of piece it together.
Exactly. That's why this quiz is so fiendish.
Indeed. I mean, it could go either way. One either likes horses, hates horses, medium about horses.
It's a weird person who's medium about horses.
Generally, I find you have the spirit of an unbridled quadruped. You do like to be brushed.
I love to be brushed.
And you love oats. So yes, and you like horses.
Well, because if I like to be brushed, I could be in a competitive relationship with horses.
That's true.
Like I watch horses be brushed. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker. Yeah. I wish that were me. But yes, I do love horses.
I didn't know that about you, but I did deduce it.
Me and my friend once did a video editing job for my friend's dad who had a horse ranch.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't have any money to pay us. So he paid us in a year of horse riding lessons.
Oh, amazing.
So every Tuesday, my friend Andreas and I would go to this ranch, and there would be me and him and a bunch of 13-year-old girls learning to ride.
Beautiful.
Meat mopeds, we called them.
Meat mopeds.
Yeah.
I've ridden a few horses in my day, and it's thrilling.
Okay, so you're 3 for 2, which is very good.
Better than most.
Very good. All right, this is a tricky one.
Good. How
How many pairs of pants are in my regular rotation? Not counting shorts.
Because you don't wear. I know this is maybe another half point. You don't wear shorts on the island of Manhattan.
No.
I would say I mean, listen, this is sort of like a mentalist trick, right? Because most people I know of our ilk have like 3 pairs of pants
Okay.
on a regular rotation.
Sure, maybe.
So I would say you're like, 33% less than most men. So 2.
I have 2 pants in my rotation. That's incredible.
What can I tell you?
I'm ashamed to admit I only have 2 pairs of pants.
And sorry about that little knock there. That was tough.
Okay. When I was younger, I was in a musical. Was it A, Les Mis, B, Grease, C, Hamilton, D, Hamilton 2, or what's after D? E, Wicked.
Well, okay, Hamilton didn't exist when you were a kid. Hamilton 2 doesn't exist.
I don't know. You have to ask Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Or Spigot. Hamilton 2, he's dead.
He's back from the dead.
Yeah, oh yeah, zombie Hamilton. I think it's Les Mis because I know you love Les Mis.
I love Les Mis, but no, I was in Greece.
Which is, I should have used song in Greece because you were probably Danny Bucco or something.
No, I was not. I'm not main cast material. guy, background guy.
Guy in background guy.
All right, so we're doing 4 for 3? 4 for 3.
I'm really 2 for 3, right? Or 3 for.
You got this one. You got 2 points for real name.
We don't have to do 2 points for real name.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. You're doing 3 for 4.
3 for 4.
Okay. How far from my hometown of Bergen is it, as the crow flies, to the city of Las Vegas?
Well, I mean, that has nothing to do with you, does it?
Well, I said it was a Vegas place.
Interesting. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's 7,000 miles.
The answer is, I don't know. I tried to do Google Maps, but it won't tell you how far it is across the Atlantic.
Crow flies.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I don't know, but probably 7.
Okay, hit us up in the comments. How far
is
Bergen, Norway from Las Vegas, Nevada?
2 more questions. Are you having fun?
Not really.
Is this content?
It's fine.
What is the famous troubadour Elvis Presley is afraid that the city of Las Vegas will do something to his soul in the song Viva Las Vegas? What is Elvis afraid that the city of Las Vegas will do to his soul?
I think eat.
Las Vegas will eat his soul.
I got it right?
No, the answer is bright light city gonna set my soul on fire.
Fire. Okay, well, that one's wrong.
And this one is a one for both of us. How do I feel, but also how do you feel about mesh liners inside gym shorts?
Gym shorts or bathing suits?
Bathing, I use the same kind.
I am generally con for the ride up factor, like especially if it's not high quality. One time I was in Rio de Janeiro, beautiful city.
For work or pleasure?
It was actually for work. It was for work, and we got there, and we weren't filming until the next day, or maybe even 2 days after. And so right when we got there, we were staying on Copacabana.
Oh!
The Copacabana beach.
Famous for the song.
Exactly. And then we had the day, and I didn't have bathing suit, so I bought a cheap bathing suit, put it on, and we walked the length of Copacabana all the way up to Ipanema, like splashing, just having the best time. Saw the sunset. It's just the most beautiful thing, right? You get off the plane, you're in Brazil. It's phenomenal. Incredible. But the liner just kept cutting the inside of my thigh and my right leg. And so by the time we got back to our hotel, I was in so much pain, and for the rest of the week, I had just like chafy thigh as a result of the liner of a crappy swimsuit. So if I ever have a crappy swimsuit, I tend to cut out the liner.
Oh, brave!
But that also, presents its own problems.
Yeah. I like the mesh. I feel like it gives me sort of a cradling effect. But sometimes when it's an old pair of sweats and the pair of swim shorts, I wear mine till the liner perishes.
Yeah.
Just through atrophy. Okay, I think this was good.
Okay, I have a question for you. And this is sort of like, I'm thinking through a next generation of like, what gives you wonder, the like question that we have.
Right.
And here's the question I think I want to ask you. When was the last time you had goosebumps? Not because you were cold.
Oh.
Not because of external physical factors, but because something stirred within you, whatever the feelings are that are associated with goosebumps.
It was...
I think it's also not fear.
I think it was... I was with my daughter, and you know what it's like to have kids. You're forever trying to impress on them why your music is the best music.
Yeah.
And that people nowadays really should just stop making music.
Right, it's just about what you like.
Yes. And I was in the car, and I was playing... Painkiller by Judas Priest, loud. And I got to the guitar solo, and Luna plays a little bit of guitar. She's quite good. And then I was just like, listen to this. And I don't know if you've been in bands.
Yeah.
Like the guitar solo goosebump is one of the most powerful goosebumps that I think men at least.
I understand.
Yeah. So good guitar solo goosebump was, I think, like the other day.
Wow.
What about you?
The kids are really into West Side Story, the musical, because my wife showed them the movie, the new one and the old one in successive nights. And so now we're like listening to that soundtrack.
Musical is goosebump country.
Well, but then it's also, we were on our way to the beach, and I was in West Side Story as an 8th grader. And so
really?
I was a shark, obviously.
Yeah.
And
why were you a shark? Is that because they're the brown ones? Okay.
Went to a very white school.
And there was like, we have one shark. He's a gang of one.
Yeah. So, there were other people who were sharks, and I wasn't there for the auditions. I think maybe I went to India or something. My family, so I missed them. So I was just random shark.
Okay.
Not to say that I would have been the lead shark.
Did you do the thing where you're like walking like this?
I think that's what the jets do. I think the sharks have a lot more
ethnic moves.
Interestingly, ethnic moves. But anyway, so the song America comes on. Kids are singing. We're going to the beach. And I realized to myself, like, wow, it was like 30 years ago I was in this musical. And now I'm in this car with like the family that I guess I've always wanted.
Yeah.
And
guess. Yeah.
But yeah, that was, and I was like, it happened while I was driving, you know? And I was really nervous that my wife would see it.
Yeah.
And luckily she didn't.
Do you ever feel feelings around your family, whether it's you listen to a song that means something to you and watch something or something, and you find yourself just like crying, but you know if your family sees it, it's like, oh, Dad, why are you crying? Are you sad about stuff? But you're just like crying because of some feeling. And then you're just like kind of hiding it a little bit.
Yeah, like an internal monologue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't think I live that deep of an internal life. I do. I'm lying. But I don't remember the last time that happened exactly.
Music sets me off. Like, It Must Have Been Love by Roxette.
But it's over now?
Yeah.
Must have been true, but now...
She also died. She's dead. And she's got such a heartbreaking song. Unbreak My Heart by Toni Braxton. It's a good song.
Okay, so let's get to Dexter. Dexter Thomas, he was formerly, obviously, a correspondent at Vice. Wonderful dude, extraordinarily talented in many ways, as we'll hear.
Great rambler.
Great rambler.
He did a thing for Vice. Vice at some point decided to start having a Twitch thing, and it was a 4-hour broadcast, I think a few times a week. And I did it once. He habitually rambled for 4 hours. He's very good at it.
Well, and ramble sometimes has a negative connotation, but I think what you're trying to say is that he has a voice I want to listen to, and he has thoughts that provoke thoughts in me. So I'm really excited that we have him with us, and I guess he will be on right now.
If you don't listen to all the way through, because some people don't, we'll take this opportunity to again say like and subscribe. And Dex did tell us something important the other day, which is please comment.
Comment on the YouTube.
It doesn't have to just anything. Just this sounds desperate. Just comment, like, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, anywhere.
So we're looking directly down the barrel of the lens here. Yeah, right? Me and him.
Talking
to you, Lyle. Also, Andrew Karpinski is another listener.
Is he?
Yeah, he sent me a text of him listening to it.
Oh, what's up, Andrew?
So we got more. We're double.
Yeah. Anyway, we hope you like this chat with Dexter. Welcome to the Wonderboys podcast. It is an absolute joy, treat, and a privilege to have you.
So great to see you, Dexter. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm chilling, man. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
So yeah, back to the nonsense. Yeah, we are basically we're prepping for jobs as podcast assistant producers.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're going.
Amazing. It's an important job, man. It's hard work.
Yeah, because we all used to have the same job at Vice, and where we just like looked down so hard at the little people, and we would belittle them, we would berate them, especially you, Dexter. You were known as just being awful.
Actually, a funny story about that. Recently, somebody, like a friend of mine, told me that they had heard that I was difficult to work with. And that actually really bothered me. I don't know who this was. And I honestly, like, I'm not trying to, cover their name or anything like that. I genuinely, I don't think I knew who it was, or I don't remember. But it actually bugged me a lot because I was wondering, man, what could I have possibly done to make somebody think that I was difficult to work with? Did I do something wrong at some point? I have no idea.
Yeah,
I have no idea. So yeah, it actually really
that would bother me a lot too. And maybe, I mean, those who are listening and watching might disagree, but like in my time, I tried my hardest to pride myself on like not being that difficult to work with. However, surely in the course of years and years of making stuff and ultimately being the people we are, maybe we were short here or there.
You get cranky. I don't think I was either.
Hungry.
Do you guys think though, if we were absolutely horrible to work with, that our career paths might have taken a different, like,
We'd be
if we
doing
were,
that.
yeah,
We'd
exactly.
be
Like,
doing
we
that.
would be at the networks right now if we were just
Yes.
absolutely
Yes.
insufferable.
But that being said, we have some former colleagues who are at the networks who, as far as I know, were not difficult to work
No.
with either. Also, I can't really think of anybody who I wouldn't work with again.
Mina Duerson, who's now at CNN, was famous for just punching small animals
Yeah,
on shoot
that's right.
for no reason.
She did do a story where
For anybody who's not picking up on the sarcasm
thank you,
that's
Dex.
floating
He's
around
pretty
here,
dry over there, so
obviously,
sometimes it's hard.
yeah, none of us enjoyed being
Well,
mean
but
to
literally,
people.
you did a
I don't
story
honestly, I
where
don't think
she
there was
killed
anybody
hundreds
mean
of
there.
insects. She did like a lanternfly story where she stomped out the lanternfly. I mean, cruelly,
Ew.
with no prejudice.
What kind of shoes
Extreme
was she wearing?
prejudice. I can't remember.
I hope Vice gave her shoes. And also, to be fair, like in the interest of journalistic fairness, like I have no evidence that Mina has ever punched like a cat.
Yeah.
But also, like I can never be sure that she hasn't.
Oh, interesting. You're thinking like a lawyer.
I'm a good journalist.
You'll have to invite her
Look,
on to ask. There's no
If
if
sense.
Mina hasn't punched
really,
this is
really,
a lot for Mina. We'll have to tell her that we're talking about it. But all I'm saying is that if Mina hasn't punched a small animal, she's free to come on the podcast and explain it.
That's
And
right.
she should be for any investigation.
I see what you're doing here.
This is why people don't trust journalism anymore.
Us.
You two.
Us.
This is
These two right
precisely
here.
why.
Yeah.
It's you too. It's your
Yeah.
fault.
The keyboard in your background, Dexter. First of all, is it a real keyboard or are we looking at a backdrop?
Wow. That is a real keyboard, actually. That is the keyboard that I received for a birthday in high school. My dad wanted me to, so I just entered high school and I was in the jazz band, and my dad thought that I was going to make jazz on it. You know what I mean? Like, because I played keyboards, I played saxophone and keyboards, and he thought that I would use it to arrange jazz songs, maybe play with other people in the band. Didn't do that. Ended up hating jazz band, but ended up finding out that there was a function on there. It had a sequencer built in, but that sequencer could do basically step recording, which meant that I could make techno on it.
Ooh.
And I went to a party once and I heard Eiffel 65's Blue. You remember that song?
Yeah.
And my immediate response was, wait a second, I think I can do that. And I went home that night and I made some just awful techno song on it. And I showed it to my dad the next day. And I think he shook his head walking out of the room. And yeah, so that's a very important it still kind of
does
works.
this techno song still exist? Can you find it?
Somewhere. No, you couldn't find it.
Well, can we find it for
it's
us?
on a hard drive somewhere.
Can you find it for us?
It's yeah, I have it somewhere.
That sounds like a no, which is okay. So what I think.
No. I genuinely could. You know what? I like
You
it.
like it?
I
Okay,
like
stand behind it.
I like my early work. I
Well, I think for people who don't know, like Dexter, we worked together at Vice. You were a correspondent, a producer. You did the work that we did, but you're also like extremely talented in these other ways that, I mean, I will speak for myself, am not. Like, you make music. It's something you do all the time, as I know from your social media feeds. You also, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, hold a PhD from an institution in a very specific subject. Is that right?
Is it a correspondence institution?
Yeah. No. Yeah. The PhD is from Cornell, which I very rarely think about nowadays.
Heard of
but
it.
yeah. I did a piece, or I did a dissertation on Japanese.
Incredible.
While I was at Cornell.
Yeah. So I've always thought about just how talented you are in so many different ways, and how brilliant you are, and how in some ways like we have the same job, but in other ways you're just so much more qualified for so many more other things. And you did that really cool like a fellowship at Princeton too.
Yeah, the Princeton. Yeah, I remember talking to you about the Princeton thing because you were trying to tell me about what to do in Princeton. You know, I never.
Oh, really?
I've still to this day I've never sat step foot on Princeton's campus ever. It was totally
Incredible.
remote. The funny thing about the dissertation actually is I defended my dissertation in May of 2020, so during lockdown, and so I put on like a suit, like suit jacket and everything for my dissertation, and then I immediately switched back into a t-shirt so I could interview some rapper for this remote series thing that we were doing, like music and during lockdown or something like that, because this was May of 2020. So it was a lot of switching back and forth. But I don't know, man. I don't think that I've never felt like, I mean, far from feeling more qualified than anybody, I often felt like I had no idea what I was doing at Vice, which I think probably everybody felt to some degree. Now, as I got further on in it, I realized, oh, maybe everybody feels like they're just making it up. But, people had so much experience doing, whether it was, actually videography, actually being a correspondent. I mean, you, for example, Krishna, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just kind of figuring stuff out as I went along.
It's annoying to know that we were all kind of flailing individually and on our own, and we all kind of looked up at each other. And this isn't going to be a pity fest. My brother watched one of the early episodes, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Stop ragging on yourselves and like say you can't do shit. There is an Emmy behind Krishna." But it is interesting, isn't it? Because we all looked at each other and we're like, "Oh my God, they have it so down."
Yeah.
And you were like the great hope of Vice's digital project, right? They gave you a Twitch, and then they gave you basically no follow up, but like you were the Twitcher.
And you were sort of ahead of your time, so to speak, like thinking about how Vice could actually reach digital audiences. Because we talked about, Vegas and I talked about this like right when we started this podcast. Like there's a period of time where I kind of like fell asleep about where youth culture was going and youth media specifically, and like where people were actually looking at stuff. And when you guys started the Twitch stream, it like I thought to myself like, oh, that's actually much more in line with the philosophy of a youth media company.
Yeah, I mean, I think where there's so many different places to go there. Well, I think Vice stopped being a youth media company at a certain point. I think Vice started to, and I think could have, become something like a Rolling Stone if it wanted to. Where there was a point that Rolling Stone was the place where young people got their stuff from, right? They had their pulse on everything. And then at a certain point it kind of ages up, and then Rolling Stone becomes something very important. Still has a pulse on some things, but for a certain demographic.
Yeah.
Vice, obviously, if it wanted to, could move into that. And I think it struggling a bit, whatever. But it never quite moved there. But yeah, Twitch was something, because the thing is, I think it's less, there is no youth media, which is what I'm trying to say here. Like there used to be, youth media, the concept is dead. There is no such thing as a youth media anymore. There is no centralized youth media. Because I mean, if you think about it,
Well, there's no centralized.
basically,
Let me just push back on that. There's no centralized youth media, but there is.
there's no
youth media.
centralized youth media. There are ways that young people communicate, but the thing is, it's so disparate now, because a lot of it is a group chat,
Exactly.
a lot of it is a Discord, and it's things that you can't
Yeah.
monitor anymore. You know what I mean? And this was kind of the promise of things like Twitter. Like people would be really interested in, oh, what are young people doing on Twitter, and what are these different demographics doing on Twitter? But the thing was, really, where a lot of the culture was happening was Tumblr.
Yeah.
But Tumblr was at that same period, early 2010s. But Tumblr is really, really hard to eavesdrop on, because in order to actually follow, you can't scroll through Tumblr like you could not scroll through Tumblr like you could Twitter. So you could follow maybe 10 accounts on Twitter and have a general idea of what a scene is doing. Tumblr was way harder. So anyway, that's to say that yeah, the youth media thing is, the idea that you can have a centralized youth media is kind of dead. But yeah, I mean, I think live streaming is definitely something that's underutilized for a lot of these legacy places, which I would consider at this point Vice to be one of.
I keep trying to get onto various teenage group chats, but people don't seem to enjoy it.
Wonder why. Yeah. Wonder. wonder why you won't get the.
Yeah, I wonder why.
I keep getting letters from parents. Hey, we gave you some homework,
Yes,
right?
man.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yes, you
But
did.
it's needed. You need-
No, it's not. No,
Oh,
it's not.
sweet.
No, it's not.
So tell us something wonderful.
Immediate. Not
Wow.
even hard. Daria.
The
Daria.
show.
I wanted to talk about Daria anyway. The show. Daria, the show, is one of the greatest things that's ever been made. I'm watching Daria right now, so please, anybody listening to this or watching this, do not send me spoilers because honestly, by the time you watch this, I'll probably be done with it. I started season 1 a couple days ago. I'm partway through season 2
Amazing.
now.
Daria is a very acerbic
Daria is
90s
so
show, right?
It's an animated show that MTV put out in the 90s about a high school girl named Daria, her friends, the popular
Yes.
kids. She has like a best friend. She has kind of like someone who wants to be her love interest. It's an excellent show. I remember it extremely well, and it's super super influential. Like one of a cousin of mine is just like in love with Daria, the concept as a child. I think it's hard to understate how good Daria is.
It's
They,
it's so good.
what do you
man.
love about
It's
it?
so good. Like, you know, so this is the thing actually. I'm not sure, and that kind of bothers me a little bit because how is it? Have you ever met anybody who hates Daria? First off,
No,
No.
you ever talk to anybody about Daria and they say, "No, I don't like
It's
Daria."
like Queen. You
I've
never
never
anyone who
heard a
doesn't like
bad
it.
review of Daria.
It's
I'm
like
sorry?
the band Queen. Like no one exists in the world who doesn't love Queen. Careful.
Yeah, see, but when everybody likes something, that makes me a little bit suspicious
Mm.
of it.
no,
That's the thing, which is maybe kind of a Daria thing to say. But well, because here's the thing: the entire concept, the entire conceit of Daria is that she's kind of the outcast, she's the misfit, she's the smart one. Everybody around her is stupid, and she's not a perfect person. Like, you know, she has emotions, she goes through things just like everybody else, and she gets mad when people think that she's this emotionless, you know, cynical person or whatever. But in which she is cynical, but that she has no emotions, whatever. She gets upset about that. But how is it that everybody relates to Daria? Because again, the entire conceit of Daria is that she is a misfit, and there's the jocks, and there's the cheerleaders, and there's the popular people. And also, this was on MTV, which is the channel that you watch. Like, this is what the cool kids watch. So, weren't there some super popular cheerleaders who also watched Daria? Like, did they just not understand that they're supposed to be Quinn?
yeah, they're
You get what I'm
actually in the
saying? Like,
fashion
you
club.
know, the popular characters. Yeah, did they not understand? Oh, I'm in the fashion club. This
Yeah.
is me. I can think of some people who were kind of like the fashion club members. I don't know if I knew any like jocks really like that. I don't think we really had that at our school. And I don't know that we necessarily had true fashion club people, but I could think of a couple people who kind of bordered on that. And I just wonder, did they see this and they think, "Oh yeah, I'm Daria." It's like, "No, bro, you're Kevin.
But that so
You're Kevin. You're the football jock dude."
in
Come
bringing
on.
this up with that sort of in relation to our other conversation, like MTV was a centralized hub of youth culture, and central,
Mhm.
like, you know, centering Daria as the heroine was a way of broadcasting
Yeah.
that being like alternative in your cultural outlook was acceptable, was cool, was something to aspire to even. And that, I think, maybe the discourse, like the effects of Daria being the center of that show, even on someone who was a jock or was in fashion club, was like, hey, these are people that are kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
You might, you know, in the 80s, they were the nerds. In the 80s, they would be like the person in the Breakfast Club with the bad hair who then has to do, like Ali Sheedy. Ali Sheedy's role, she has like a makeover at the end. Can you imagine Daria having a makeover at the end of Daria?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's ridiculous.
No, don't. We just talked about no
Oh
spoilers.
shit! No, he got
That was a negative- yeah,
spoiler.
yeah.
Negative spoiler. Negative. My fault. My fault. Bro. You're right. I totally just.
It's
Do you
okay.
think it's?
I don't remember what you said. Just memory wipe. Just Men in Black, little flashy thing. I don't remember what you
I
just
haven't
said.
watched Daria in
What?
the longest time, but I've started rewatching another staple of 90s entertainment, which is Twin Peaks, one of my favorite all-time shows. And I'm thinking like maybe what it is about the 90s that I miss is that was the last time we were all safely ensconced in just like layers of irony and coolness. And Krishna and I have talked a little bit about this, how in this day and age we have to embrace being our open selves and cringe and stuff like that. And the 90s were just like the least cringy decade, the last not cringy decade, because no one was themselves. Like we weren't ourselves. We were just mortified at the very idea of being ourselves. And I kind of miss, I think maybe I miss that a little bit. And Daria is also like, she's got so many layers between her and the real world, right?
Yeah, I mean that's her character. Yeah. I mean, I think going back to Daria for just a second, I think that Daria, the thing about why does it appeal to somebody is why does it appeal to everybody, even the people who everybody think are the jocks and the cheerleaders or whatever, is I think there's probably something in everybody who actually feels like nobody understands me, even if you are the most popular person at the high school or whatever. And so I think it's that also, right? I think that that's maybe sort of obvious, but yeah, I mean, I think that one of the defining things of I don't know if it's just the 90s. I would say 70s onwards into the early 2000s maybe, is the idea of selling out was kind of a quirk of that time period. It's a few decades, but the idea of selling out doesn't really exist
No.
anymore.
Selling out being a
Like,
negative
the idea
thing.
of being underground is
Yeah.
gone. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, think about somebody getting, I don't know, like you've got a new favorite artist or whatever. You want them to blow up on TikTok. Like they want to blow up on TikTok. That is
Yeah.
success for them. Is more people seeing them, is getting a brand deal. Whereas, I mean, just think of any punk group
Remember
from
Green Day?
any period before this, you'd lose their mind.
Green
What's
Day.
that?
Like friendships ended because Green Day became a sellout punk band, right?
I think I probably came to Green Day after that had happened. So I was not party to those discussions. But yeah, it's a totally different situation now. It's a totally different situation. I can't say if it's better
Well,
or
yeah,
worse.
maybe
It's
we're coming
just
down with the concept
the
of
idea of selling out is
authenticity.
not really a concept.
Sorry to cut you off. The concept of authenticity being sort of what's behind it, because like authentic people wouldn't sell out because selling out to a brand or something means kind of giving up something inside you that is yours.
But then you can't authentically sell out.
Yeah.
Like, look at, like, if we're talking about punk, like, look at Blink 182. Like, nobody can argue that they're not living their full its.
Yeah.
Right? They are who they are in their huge commercial glory, right? So is that selling out, or is that just the world valuing them for being the commercial kind of idiots that they are?
Yeah, I mean, they could be prescient in that way, but it also might be a case of there was an economic industry where people could make a living not selling out, so to speak, and now there isn't, and the only way is to kind of really engage with commerce in an authentic way, and that's why people are like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't necessarily have an answer for any of it, but it is something I think
Yeah.
about a lot, is that I don't hear people talking about, oh, this person's a sellout, that person's a sellout. Like that was truly the worst thing that you could accuse somebody of being, is being
We
a
can talk
sellout.
about Vice in
And
those
I think
terms
that-
too. Remember, like everyone you ever met on the street, when you say like you're from Vice, they were like, "Oh, they were great in 2014, and then they sold out or whatever, and then they changed." So that was something we had lobbed after us constantly.
Yeah. I mean, I saw that enough to where I had a pretty good idea where that was coming from, so it didn't really bother me, but yeah.
I would say that
Yeah, I definitely
when
saw
I
some
was
of that.
growing up, sellout was like the second worst thing you could call someone. The first was a poser,
Oh yeah.
like a biter or a poser, someone who's ripping off another sub community's style, way of being, way of talking, interests.
Yeah.
That was like the big, like, oh, he's a poser. Like he just started skating last year. And I think that it's also something that maybe
Yeah,
I
oh,
would actually
man.
say is good that is gone.
Yeah.
Like no one use that word anymore. Like
There's no gatekeeping.
yeah, it's like everything's out there, and you can choose what pieces of your identity you want to put together. So if there were a Daria of today, the Daria might be a little bit more fashion club, might be a little bit more of a jock, might have a little bit more of these other, like a multifarious identity. I don't know, just thinking of it.
I want. No, no. I wonder what sort of person Daria would be now. I feel like Daria just maybe wouldn't. I feel like Daria would not have any social media accounts.
Oh yeah.
Or Daria would have like be only in a Discord, or Daria would still use Tumblr or something like
Well,
that, or
I,
LiveJournal, just something really weird and niche that you can't you can't go viral on.
but Daria might have had like a almost an ironic kind of like parody social media presence that then would actually be really popular and the algorithm would take to and it would get huge because there's something, there's something inside about Daria that we all love, right? That's, I don't know. I'm thinking
Yeah.
in some very abstract terms here.
Also, we don't know. Like, what if Daria sits in a room and cries when the animated camera isn't on her? Like, it's not like we know all of the things that happen in Daria's head. This is a weird podcast for making.
No, I think that we're led to believe in Daria that we know everything that's going on.
Okay.
I think that's the ethic of the show.
Yeah,
that's
true.
the metaphysics of the show.
Okay.
There's not a separate Daria.
Yeah, there's no mystery. Like anything we need to know. Yeah, that's the way a TV show works. Is anything you need to know about a character, you're being shown.
Daria the novel might have
mystery.
a separate sort of dimension.
Oh, there's going to be Daria fan fiction out there.
Well, I guess here, this is my question to you, Dexter. Is like, are a lot of people rewatching Daria? Like, is it becoming the like Friends of 5 years ago when everyone rewatched Friends? Because I think that would be really cool if everyone rewatched Daria.
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I just think Daria is great. Like, so I don't really watch TV at all. Like any show that's on right now. I mean, sorry to say, Twin Peaks. I also haven't seen that. My movie game, my television game is pretty weak. I don't know if I've seen an entire episode of Friends.
I'm missing much.
I think that's fine. I think you're okay. But are you not?
I don't know.
Like, you're missing some references.
Go ahead.
Right?
Oh, I definitely do all the time. I miss references. People will talk about movies. I'll miss those references, and I mean, but that's something again that doesn't really exist anymore. There was a point at which everybody knew there was a relatively small group of artists who everybody knew, right? Like if in the 90s, if you were in 90s, early 2000s, you knew who Britney Spears was, and you've heard her music.
Yeah.
Like you've absolutely heard her music and it didn't matter if you liked it. You might hate it, but if you want to, that Wu-Tang has a new record or new music video, and you want to see the new Wu-Tang music video, you have to sit through the countdown, and you're going to see Britney Spears, you're going to see Fiona Apple, you're going to see, whoever else, you're going to see the whatever else songs, right? And then Wu-Tang will come on. And then, I don't know, Third Eye Blind will come on, whatever. And everybody knows these songs. But now you could be a huge music fan and have absolutely no idea who the quote unquote hottest artist is. Like I could not tell you a single Taylor Swift song. If you put $1 million in front of me right now, I could not take that $1 million off the table. I have no animosity toward her. I don't dislike her. I just don't know her music. If you were to play it for me, I'd probably and say this is a Taylor Swift song. I'd probably recognize it, but I couldn't tell you.
She has so many
my top
songs.
3 or my worst 3 or whatever songs. I just don't know. I know, and I can't tell you a single one. And I listen to so much music. I listen to music all day, and I think there's a lot of people like me who, especially younger people who they listen to music all the time, but they're really, really knowledgeable in some specific subgenre and do not know what quote unquote the mainstream is. So it's totally possible to not be at all aware of the mainstream,
Which is kind of cool, but also
so
like
you start to miss references. Like common references don't really exist almost.
No, like you don't have these like cultural touchstones that bring us all together. Like it's cool that there's all this culture that people access in different ways, but the reason why I love Twin Peaks was because I was alive in Norway in like 92, and we had 2 channels at that point, and Friday at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., the entire nation of Norway sat down and watched this one thing. And, throughout, before the internet, like most countries had these touchstones that, yeah, you all watched this and then you talked about it.
Mm.
And that doesn't really exist anymore. Like we have the giant big shows like Succession and those kind of things, I guess, that are similar, but you don't have these like ubiquitous things.
Yeah. And they happen much faster. Like I think what ends up like peaking on the algorithms, like
Yeah.
they're up there for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm.
You know, and sure, those people who create that stuff are able to maintain a sustainable business, but like really what comes above the fold that someone might see if they're not looking, it changes all the time. And that's what they want, right?
Yeah.
They want it to be fresh. It's like a new magazine every week.
Yeah. I would say the only cultural touchstones we have aren't it's not the content of the message, it's like the
Hmm.
container. So the cultural touchstones we have are Instagram, TikTok, to a lesser degree now, depending on your age group, Facebook. Like everybody is on those.
Mhm.
And so everybody has those as a cultural reference point. But the stuff that's inside of those platforms, not necessarily. Which I'm not necessarily is saying is a bad thing. I mean, is it a good thing that every single person, like if you were a teenager at a certain time, you had heard at least a couple songs off of Jagged Little Pill? I don't know. I like Alanis Morissette. I was a big fan of Alanis Morissette, but I don't know that everybody had to listen to that. Maybe they should have been spending their time listening to somebody else or having the opportunity to discover something else rather than having basically one place decide, here's what you're going to
Mhm.
listen to. We are MTV. We know it's cool. Here's your diet. Like, I can't say that's a good thing
It's
necessarily.
also, this is like me just being an old dude and ragging about internet and social media, but like you get so much of your culture now and it's diluted with news and the cacophony of everything that's going on. Whereas like if you back in the day, if you wanted your music, what you wanted to listen to, you went to the record store and you like immersed yourself in that world for a few hours, or you went to the bookstore and you immersed, and that was
Hmm.
like all there was at that time. And then you, I don't know, got your news or whatever. But now it's like everything coming at you at the same time, and it's just exhausting. You don't get these like little oases of
Hmm.
peace. Fucking crazy. What are you
Yeah.
working on these
I
days, Dex?
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about the past, but I think
What's
I'm
up?
I'm actually very curious about what you've been doing in and around Los Angeles. Like you've been documenting some pretty wild stuff, or stuff that's like pretty whack. How's that been going?
Oh, yeah. It's kind of weird because I think it's the protests is what you're talking about in LA. I think it's kind of weird because a lot of it I think is dropped off of the national consciousness. I mean, most of the reporters who were here covering it, who don't live here,
Really?
left. And I mean, there are people who from all over the place. I mean, different countries, all sorts of things. But the protests the numbers are not what they were. Basically, um, man, I kind of forget which day it was, but I know because I was out there with a camera every day, and I have habits that I learned from Vice, more or less organizing my footage. I have like day one, day two, and it goes all the way up to like day 12 or whatever. I have a day 12 folder, and it starts to drop off at some point after that. But yeah, the No Kings protest, which was on the 14th, was the biggest one. I think that's where it peaked, and it sort of dropped off after that. But yeah, they were some pretty it was pretty wild, honestly. I've never seen police react like that or provoke like that in any
Did you get hit
situation.
by something, or
Um,
you saw someone get hit by something? What happened there?
I got hit. I got hit twice,
Hmm.
By
actually.
what?
Yeah, I haven't really talked about this. I haven't really talked about the second time. But yeah, both times by a less lethal round. Um, so yeah, the first time it hit my pant leg, and so I get brushed my leg. It made no real contact, but I had the mark on my pants, and it was like I think I was filming, and I saw the shot. I didn't see the round. Obviously, it's too fast. And this is from LAPD, and I really didn't expect them to start shooting. I think maybe a lot of people didn't, because I'm used to if police don't like what you're doing, a lot of times they'll use tear gas because that's honestly the easiest way to get a big group of people to disperse. and they just started shooting rounds. And I was a little surprised they were shooting, and then I felt something on my leg, and I saw the round on the ground. I realized, oh shoot, that just hit my pants. And then the same thing happened again, kind of. But well, dear, I'll tell you. So basically, there was another time where this was actually on the 14th. I'm walking across the street. Basically, the protesters had gone. We were on Pico, I think. So we're pretty far away from where a lot of the protests have been. So they'd marched blocks and blocks and blocks, and eventually, police decide they'd have enough of it, and they come in, big lines of people. And the thing that the LAPD was doing that I haven't really seen before is running at protesters. I'd never really seen that, because usually, well, you all have covered protests before, right? Probably a lot, and you've seen police make a line, and then they'll sort of march forward, and they'll stop and they'll march forward. The LAPD was running. And I've never seen this before, because the thing about, if you run, especially in a big group, it does a few things. First off, it scares people. Second off, not everybody is able to run at the same pace that a pretty in shape. Not everybody's in great shape, but LAPD, there's a standard, right? So not everybody is in that same shape, and not everybody who's in the protest is actually meaning to be on the front line. There are people who are actually just walking by. So people fall, people trip, people almost there were the horses, people almost getting trampled by that. Anyway, whatever. So there's one point where I'm walking across the street, or kind of jogging across the street, and I've got my press jacket on, and I'm holding up my media badge. I've got this big bright yellow media badge, and I've got my camera, and basically I'm just trying to get across the street so that I can film any interactions in between protesters and police. And almost as soon, and I kind of get behind a tree, actually, and almost as soon as I get there, I feel something against my leg. I hear a shot, feel something against my leg, and I think, oh shoot, I got hit again. But again, it kind of hit my pants. And I thought, man, I'm lucky. So I'm wearing the same pants. So I'm thinking, man, these are my local protest pants. I'm gonna wear these every day, like always. These are great. But basically, anyway, so later I'm looking back at the footage, and again, it didn't make contact with my leg, and so I'm very lucky, because I have seen people get seriously hurt by these things. I mean, like blood drawn, and from the same round that I was hit with. But again, just hit my pants, no big deal. So I get home and I'm looking at the footage, and just to cut to the chase, basically, as I'm looking at it, the moment where my leg got hit, I see the camera shake. I think, what the, why? I wasn't that nervous. Why did the camera shake? And then I look at it again, and I see this chunk of plastic flying off into the air. I'm thinking, what? And I go look at my camera, and there's a chunk of plastic missing off of there's a chunk missing on the camera.
God damn.
They blew a hole in the camera. Yeah. So very happy, because shout out to Sony. If you want, sponsor me.
Hey, no
because
sellouts. No
your
sellouts.
camera saved my
Keep it
leg.
real.
Yeah. But it took a chunk out of the camera.
Amazing.
Do you feel like the cops were in control? Because I've seen them run before. I saw them run during the BLM protests here, right? And to me, that always meant like, oh, they're not interested in
Did they?
Yeah,
they're not interested in
not
maintaining.
maintaining
They just want to do fuck shit now. Like,
Yeah,
they're just pissed off.
They run to like hit.
Yeah, exactly. They just wanted to do violence.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I can say about that. Just, I mean, I don't know what everybody was doing, but I do know there were some people who just seemed like they really shouldn't be there. I've seen friendly fire. I saw an officer shoot another one right in front of him with a less lethal round. I mean, right in front of him. I have it on
Crazy.
camera.
Please.
Like, tag the dude in the back. And they left the guy in the line. The guy who got hit was so hurt that they pulled him off, and the guy who shoots, you can see him reload, and they leave him there. I do not understand the mentality behind leaving somebody who just shot his fellow officer in the back. Again, it's a less lethal round, but I've seen those things draw blood at 15 feet.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking 3 feet.
Now we're talking about these
I don't know what's
protests as they
happening
sort of
here.
exist, but what exactly are they protesting against? I mean, in my mind, it's clearly the deployment of the National Guard. It is the increased ICE raids that
Right.
are happening in Los Angeles. It's the weaponization of the federal government against the populace of the people of California, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's levels of what brought people out. I think the ICE raids definitely brought the first group of
Mhm.
people out, and then I think the National Guard being brought out brought more people out, because why would you be deploying National Guard here? Then it's the Marines.
Oh, I
Why are
forgot
you
about the
sending the
Marines. Yes, I
Marines
forgot
here?
about the Marines.
Yeah, and which the Marines aren't even supposed to be
Yeah.
doing anything here. So I think it's it was very confusing for
Can
a
you
lot of
help me
people,
parse this?
for confusing for some, and then for some people it actually makes them mad, which fair enough.
Help me parse this, because I'm reading about this in the mainstream news that I love. They say that, oh, this is the fight that Gavin Newsom has been aching for, and then they say, oh, this is the fight that Trump lives for, and it's like, who? I don't know. Like, it is L.A. Are the raids, are the protests just like political showpieces now? Who comes out? This isn't a political podcast, but I'm just like curious. Like, what's Gavin's thing in this?
You know, the thing is, the majority of the people who are out there, I don't think they are thinking about this in a capital P politics
Yeah.
sense. I don't think they're thinking about this in the sense of, if we just, next time I'm going to vote for this person for mayor, or I don't think it's anything like that. I think if you were to ask a lot of people who are out there protesting, they would probably tell you that this was one of their first, or if not the first time ever being out in the street
Hmm.
protesting. Um, I talked to a lot of people like that, because the thing is, protests, as you guys know, they're mostly really
Yeah.
boring. It's a lot of standing around, especially if you're
Mhm.
covering it, right? There are people who go there who are looking for, and I mean by journalists, and I understand why you would do this. You're basically waiting for the moment that there's gonna be clashes or whatever, or, somebody throws a firework, whatever. And I understand why that is. That makes for better imagery. But a lot of it is standing around and people talking to each other. And then if you want to, as a journalist, if you're not a jerk, you can talk to people and ask them stuff, which I did a lot. And most of them were not, these aren't professional agitators or anything like that, which, even if those people exist, it's just people who saw something and got mad enough to come outside. And so I don't know. I mean, I think you could talk about what does Gavin Newsom want, and what kind of imagery is he looking for, but I think honestly, so much of it is dictated by just what makes somebody care enough to get up off the
Mhm.
couch. And for a lot of people, this was that straw.
I have a question, Dex, because I see what happens in LA. And, we live in Brooklyn, we live in New York, and my thinking is like, hey, it's going to come here at some point. Like, there have been, of course, increased ICE raids in New
Mhm.
York. Generally speaking, it has been in courthouses and other places like that. There hasn't been the kind of
Yeah.
reaching, sweeping stuff that I see happening in LA. But like, what's your advice to us about how to cover that stuff? Because there are places that I know of just from running around the city, from just living here, that are hubs for folks who are from other countries. And I just wonder, like, should I start going there and talking to people now? I guess the
Mhm.
answer for that is yes. But like, what do you think?
Let me first state the obvious, and say how much of a strange thing it is to have two people of your stature asking me
No,
for
but you
advice.
sure,
That
sure.
is
Shut. Come on.
odd for me. No, but no, for real, for real. No, I have to do this. Other people do this. I got to do this too. Krishna, you and I have talked about this. So we've gotten this out of the way. That obviously I very much looked up to what you're doing. As you got in there before me. Vegas, not you so much, man.
This
I
is
can
fine.
take your
That's
word
fine.
for
That's what.
whatever, honestly, man.
Well, when the white
Um,
supremacists come in, he'll have the
You
insight.
sound like my wife, Andor Mom.
exactly.
Not so much with you.
but but I mean, but being real, you know, I I think for I can just say what has been the most meaningful for me is focusing a little bit. Like, I always do this. I see what everybody else is doing, not to be Daria here or whatever, but I see what everybody else is doing and I say, yeah, I don't want
Hmm.
to do that. And a lot of that honestly is because a lot of times I can't do that. Especially for these protests, I wasn't being paid to cover any of this. I just felt like, okay, I have a camera and I know how to talk to people, and let me just go outside and see what happens. I have no idea what's gonna happen. Let me just see what happens. And and then I realized, oh well, there's people who have entire huge news crews and they can kind of be everywhere at once. And so if there's fights happening over here, they got somebody over there. If there's fights happening over there, they can cover a lot of ground. I can't really do that. But what I could do is do things like ask people, "Hey, I see you brought that flag. Why did you bring the
Hmm.
flag? Tell me about that." Or I could film the the people who are playing music and stuff like that. And so I've posted a lot of that because I know, not because the mainstream media is bad, not because they're bad, but because I know they just don't have time for that. They're not going to think about that so much. And maybe they think that their viewers aren't interested, and maybe they're right. But so I can't say this is what everybody else should do, is find the small stories or whatever. But I don't know. That's been what's I've felt like it's been rewarding for me. I mean, I have some pretty rough footage that I just haven't posted because I don't like looking at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's one thing honestly I really should post, but one of the things, the stuff of where my camera gets messed up or whatever, or where I'm getting shot at, like that didn't really bother me. The thing that bothers me the most, and I don't think I'll ever forget this particular shot, is all the protesters being pushed down First Street. So if you know where First Street is, this is in LA. This is Little Tokyo. So it's really, really fascinating that all this stuff is happening in Little Tokyo. Right next, by the way, I have to say, to the Japanese American National Museum, which is where they have an exhibit about the incarceration camps during World War II, where everybody's put in camps because they are suspicious of a certain group of
Wow.
immigrants, right? But one of the scenes that I have on my camera, that some of it's on camera, some of it's not, is there's also this area um, right across from Little Tokyo where a lot of unhoused people hang out. And there's this point where everybody's getting pushed back, where the police start running. And out of the corner of my eye, I could see this guy with kind of all of his stuff, with his bags and stuff like that, right? Um, Sitting on the corner, and there's kind of this concrete slab that it's in the shade, and he was just sort of sitting there, and he's not part of the protest. And the police run forward and see him and pick him up, grab him, shove him into a bench, hit him with a baton. And I'm just thinking, what are you doing here? Like, this guy's not a protest. This guy poses absolutely no danger. And and you can hear him yelling, my stuff, my stuff. Like, he doesn't understand he's not supposed to be there. He just wants to go back to his bag and get his things because they're separating him from all of his belongings. And that sort of
Yeah.
thing, which frankly I don't know what to do about that, but that sort of thing, that's the sort of thing that isn't, like, who covers that?
That's like,
And frankly, who reads it? I don't know if there's an audience for that. But those are the things that I think about. What are the things that are going to get missed?
because this is effectively like the most
You know what I
vulnerable
mean? And you
person,
you know your area
like the
better than
most
me.
vulnerable people you can think of, whose stories aren't
Exactly.
going to get covered because, yeah, if you
Yeah.
live on the street, of course your stuff is going to go away if there's a huge protest on the street.
Yeah.
But no, I think that instinct is totally right.
Yeah.
And I think now that we're covering these things, like
And
you're being very careful. Like, oh, what's the story, right? And the story, as awful as what happened was, like that's not this. Like, if you get sent to cover the LA protests, that's not the story. So maybe you don't get to tell that story. And it's
Yeah.
like, so how do you cover all the events that happen on the periphery that are kind of equally important, but they're not the quote unquote story?
But I think that's the freedom that we have as people who are independent and like aren't answering to a certain kind of viewership
Yeah.
need or a certain kind of broadcast need or a certain kind of
Mm.
editorial need to make it up ourselves and see who does think that is like worthwhile to cover, who thinks that is newsworthy. Because I think that's what we're sort of talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, and you're gonna know that better than I would, because you know
Yeah.
the communities because you live there. So if I hook up with a network next week and then something pops off the week after that and I get sent out to cover it, I'm not really gonna have the clearest idea of those sorts of things for. So I know that corner, and I know that if somebody's sitting there, it's probably because they don't have anywhere else
Right.
to go. That's not a place that concrete slab is not a slab that tourists sit on. And I also know that slab is 1 block from LAPD HQ. So I know that the cops should know that. So if they see somebody sitting there, they know this person is not a they're not a protester. They're not somebody who's going to throw a brick at them,
Mm.
right? This is somebody who's there because they don't have anywhere else to go, and they can probably just be left alone because they're not going to bother you. And yet they grab this person and shove them into a bench and hit them with a baton. And those are things that, like, yeah, I mean, that's really all I could say would be, what is it that nobody else is going to cover, either because they don't know or they don't have time or they're not being given space. And and then I guess we have to figure out how can we tell that to other
I mean,
people.
so that's the wider. We can't get into it here because it's another hour. I mean, first of all, ACAB, right? But I mean, second of all, like it's impossible to cover this part of America because there are no local news anymore. And we're in Brooklyn, you're in LA, and tons of stuff happen in between us,
Yeah.
right? But and we especially when we're at Vice, but like news networks parachute in and they're expected to cover the realities of a place where they don't live because there's no fucking local journalism anymore ever, and it's a real problem because we're
Yeah.
missing all of that.
Yeah, I mean, and this will bring me right back to the centralization and decentralization. So now we're getting a centralization of news because all the local places are dying out. And one cultural touchstone I think that all Americans have right now is we all hate the news. You talk to somebody in the far left, they hate the news. You talk to somebody in the far right, they hate the news. The one thing that they have in common, and this is from talking to people who are out protesting and talking to people who are, super hard far right Christian nationalists, is they'll all tell you, "Oh, the news sucks." "Oh, well, how do you get your information?" "Oh, I get it on social media, on TikTok." "Where on TikTok?" "Oh, TikTok." Everybody's getting this stuff
Yeah.
off of TikTok. And so this is the difficult thing, is there are these things that need to be examined and shown to more people. But if it's not worth it airtime on NBC or CNN or whatever, how does it get out there? And I'm lucky in that I just had time to go
Yeah.
outside.
Mm.
Like I've done enough freelance work to where I could afford to take some days off and say, this is important enough to me to just go outside and do this. Um, that's not sustainable. Not everybody could do this. If this had kept going, man, would I have been able to just basically take a week off, or excuse me, take a month off and keep going outside every single day? I don't think so. Eventually I got to go back
Mm.
inside, and we're back to hoping the New York Times is doing something that's happening in LA justice. Maybe they do, maybe they don't.
One quick
But
shout out just on
yeah,
that
it's a
front
it's a tough
is sort of
position
like
to be in.
unexpected places that are doing great work. I think LA Taco is doing like amazing work. And they're, I
Yes.
mean, putatively a food site. But because so much of what they cover is about the Latino
Yeah.
community and the food that they make
Mm.
and the people who are selling that food, making that food, they're doing
Yeah.
an unbelievable job
Yeah.
of covering these raids and understanding the community that's
In,
affecting it, which I think is what is the
in,
point.
Yeah.
incredible stuff. LA Taco, Boyle Heights
Mhm.
Beat, which is another one. Boyle Heights is it's right there. If you don't know, in LA, really heavy Latino community. And it's yeah, that's a thing. And I think people don't quite realize. I can't speak to LA Taco's finances, um, but they need money to be able to do this. And I think we've all sort of expected for everything to be free, and it's not free. Making this stuff isn't free. And so, it makes things more complicated not when you're not sure if people care about what you're doing enough to
Yeah.
pay for it. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I hope people do see what they're doing, and I know that they've gotten some more subscribers because of their really good work.
We're gonna tag them, and they'll get about
But
6 or 7.
At
Yeah,
least 7 views.
At least.
I have to go.
Yeah,
I have a thing at 11.
we've kept you.
definitely.
Thank you, Dex.
Miss you, buddy.
Yeah.
Great to talk to you.
You want to plug
Yo,
anything?
Absolutely. Don't want to plug anything. Daria.
No, you got Kill Switch, your
I
podcast,
think
your
everybody should watch
podcast.
Daria.
You got the evidence stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Sir,
Oh,
be a
my
professional
stuff.
for a minute here. Come on.
Because if Lyle doesn't know,
Being a professional. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, Dex. Shorthand for our audience is
Okay,
Lyle,
yeah.
because we know that Lyle Kendrick is watching.
I've heard you make those jokes, but I also
so
listened
Dex.
to, I think,
Lyle
everything
and
you
Dex,
made
our
thus
audience,
far.
but now you're not audience; you're a participant. Anyway, give us some plugs.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I have a podcast called Kill Switch that I work on with a bunch of other people, with Dara, Sheena, shout out Kate. But yeah, it's about technology. It's called Kill Switch. I kind of did the theme song. It's also remixed by Kyle. So that was pretty fun to be able to do the theme song for something. But yeah, it's about technology. We did an episode on police using facial recognition technology to arrest people. But then I also did an episode about why Nintendo is so weird.
That was a good one. I
And
liked it.
I like being able to do the fun, weird stuff. Yeah? Oh, did
Yeah,
you hear
man.
that? Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that was actually one of my favorite episodes that I was able to do, because one of the people I interviewed, this guy Jeremy Parrish, who just has a channel where, this is the other thing I would plug, is other people's stuff. He just makes videos about history of Nintendo, and it's the coolest. Video games in general. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I like video games. But yeah, man, I don't know. Go watch Daria and find something that you're just into, and go down a rabbit hole and get off the internet. That's the other thing. Get off the internet.
Watch this episode and get off the internet. Let this be the last
thing you do.
watch on the internet.
Go outside.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dexter.
No, this isn't the internet. You can listen to this and go
That's
outside.
true. That's true. Yeah. Thanks, Dex. We'll see you soon.
Okay, that was Dexter.
That was Dexter, and that was really fun. I like that guy.
I could listen to him talk more. I had to actually go to another meeting.
Yeah.
Sorry to say.
This is going to be the episode that I shouldn't date it, because we'll fuck it up and it won't be out. But ideally, this is going to be the episode that's out before 4th of July.
Oh, yes.
How do you feel about 4th of July?
Well, complicated.
Really?
I have many feelings. I mean, of course, I'm the son of immigrants, so there is some promise and some hope in the concept of America. We used to spend 4th of July pretty much every year in Rochester, New York, where my wife is from, and Frederick Douglass lived in Rochester for quite some time, and he's, I believe, buried there also. But he gave a speech there about like what does 4th of July mean to Black folks at the time of when he was alive. And I think so. It's like, what is it? I'm not sure. It's like, it's independence.
Yeah.
Really. As someone who's Indian origin, I have many feelings about British colonialism. So fuck that. So cool.
Yeah.
I like the fireworks, but my general feeling is celebrate what you can celebrate, which is the things that are good about America, and maybe give a real think about the shit.
I know. I mean, that's the thing. Like 4th of July, the branding wise, they've been remarkably good at taking the politics out of it.
Mhm.
And it's just like, yeah, there's American flags everywhere, but mostly it's about like celebrating furniture made by Tommy Bahama.
Yeah.
And just like eating hot dogs.
And fireworks. I mean, fireworks are something to love, and I've had goosebumps watching fireworks.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right, so maybe we'll go to the beach.
yeah, let's go to the beach. We can see some fireworks, perhaps.
Yeah. We'll say it again. We said it earlier. We'll say it again. If you like our podcast, if you don't,
Even if you don't.
even if
actually.
you don't, look,
Tell us you don't like it.
drop hate in the comments.
Yeah, sure. Go for the feed.
That's how Andrew Tate built his brand just on sheer vitriol.
And we are trying to follow in his footsteps.
There's a book on your bookshelf called The Rights of Women, and it's making me furious. Anyway, find us on Spotify, find us on YouTube, find us on Instagram.
Mhm. Those are the three that we're really pushing at the moment. We have a Substack as well, but we're a little less than.
I feel like I'm imposing.
Yeah.
I've been posting our stuff on LinkedIn.
Really?
Have you been getting any job offers based on my stuff?
Not that I know of, but I haven't really checked LinkedIn.
Send it to your parents via YouTube.
Send it to your parents. I think everyone's parents would probably really like what
They
we do.
would. I know my mom likes it.
Yeah, mine liked it, but they don't want to listen to it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy 4th of July, I guess. Or if it's next month, happy August 2nd. Or whenever this airs.
And thank you for watching.